Hello everyone. Today we will discuss treatment for amoebiasis and helminthiasis. In this practical we will discuss what is amoebiasis, what is helminthiasis. Then we will discuss symptoms and diagnosis of amoebiasis and helminthiasis. And lastly we will discuss treatment for amoebiasis and helminthiasis. Now we will see what is amoebiasis. First we will begin with amoebiasis. What is amoebiasis? It is a protozoal infection caused by Entamoeba histolytica and which is transmitted through fecal-oral route. Okay, it primarily affect the colon, will produce chronic intestinal amoebiasis or dysentery. It also affect other organ like liver, lung and brain. This will produce amoebic abscess in liver, lung and brain. Okay, then how will you diagnose amoebiasis? Okay, the diagnosis of amoebiasis is made by identifying Entamoeba histolytica from 2 or 3 samples of fresh feces. Okay, now coming towards symptoms of amoebiasis. In acute amoebic dysentery, it is associated with bloody mucoid stool and abdominal pain. And in chronic amoebiasis, usually present with vague symptoms like anorexia, abdominal pain and intermittent diarrhea or constipation. Okay, you know the life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica. It is Entamoeba histolytica it is exist in two forms, cysts and tropozoites. Okay, cysts can survive outside the body for several weeks and it it will ingested through contaminated food and water, whereas tropozoites are labile and live inside the lumen. Okay, then these cysts are converted to tropozoite inside the lumen. Some tropozoite may multiply and invade to ulcerate the mucosa of the large intestine. This will lead to amoebic dysentery, right? And some tropozoite may spread to the liver through portal vein. This will causes amoebic liver abscess. And for the treatment of amoebiasis, we have anti-amoebic drug. Now we will see the prescription for acute amoebic dysentery. We have anti-amoebic drug for treatment of amoebiasis. They are classified into two classes, tissue amoebicides and luminal amoebicides. Tissue amoebicides are further divided into two classes for intestinal and extraintestinal amoebiasis and for extraintestinal amoebiasis. For intestinal and extraintestinal amoebiasis, they are further divided into two classes, nitroimidazole and alkaloid. Metronidazole, tinidazole, ornidazole, secnidazole and satranidazole. These are the nitroimidazole derivative. These drugs are used for intestinal and extraintestinal amoebiasis. Then alkaloids are imetin and dihydroimetin. These are also used for intestinal and extraintestinal amoebiasis. Here metronidazole, it is a drug of choice for treatment of amoebiasis. You should remember, metronidazole, it is a drug of choice. For extraintestinal amoebiasis, we have chloroquine. Then second class is luminal amoebicides. They are further divided into three classes, amide, 8-hydroxyquinoline and antibiotic. Diloxanide furoate, it is a amide. Then 8-hydroxyquinoline derivatives are quinidochlor and dihydrohydroxyquine. These are the 8-hydroxyquinoline and antibiotic like tetracycline. So these are the luminal amoebicides. So these drugs are used for treatment of amoebiasis. Here we can see the prescription for acute amoebic dysentery. Okay. For acute amoebic dysentery, metronidazole is a drug of choice. Okay, because it is highly effective against Entamoeba histolytica and it also active against most anaerobic bacteria and protozoa like Trichomonas vaginalis and Giardia lamblia. Okay, it is in acute amoebic dysentery, metronidazole is administered 400 milligram 3 times daily for 7 days, along with tablet diloxanide furoate 500 milligram 3 times daily for 7 days and follow up after 7 days. Here metronidazole. Metronidazole, it is a nitroimidazole derivative and it has intestinal as well as extraintestinal amoebicidal activity. It has selective toxicity against amoeba, right? Then it is administered by oral route because it is rapidly absorbed and well distributed in body fluid and tissue. Okay, we know that there are so many uses of metronidazole. It is used in amoebiasis, Trichomonas vaginalis, giardiasis, H. pylori infection, pseudomembranous colitis, and ulcerative gingivitis. Okay, so these are the uses of metronidazole. Then adverse effect with metronidazole. It causes gastrointestinal adverse effect, then it can produce allergic reaction and it rarely produce central nervous system adverse effect like dizziness, vertigo, confusion and headache. Okay, gastrointestinal adverse effect like anorexia, nausea, metallic taste, abdominal cramp can produce by metronidazole. Okay, and skin, it also produce skin rash, urticaria, itching and flushing. Okay, so these are the adverse effect with metronidazole. It can produce gastrointestinal allergic reaction and rarely produce central nervous system adverse effect, CNS adverse effect. Okay, then disulfiram like reaction is a major adverse effect with metronidazole. If we take, if metronidazole is taken with alcohol, it will produce disulfiram like reaction. Okay, and this disulfiram like reaction, it is characterized by nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramp, headache and flushing. So that patient should be advised to avoid alcohol during the treatment of metronidazole. Okay, so physician should advise to the patient to do not drink alcohol during the treatment of metronidazole, right? And metronidazole, it also contraindicated during pregnancy because it causes teratogenic effect. That's why it is contraindicated in during pregnancy. Then tablet diloxanide furoate. It is administered by 500 milligram 3 times daily for 7 days. Okay. It should be administered along with metronidazole in the treatment of acute amoebic dysentery because it will produce complete eradication of organism, that is both trophozoites and cysts. That's why it should be administered along with metronidazole. Okay, diloxanide furoate. It is a diloxanide furoate. It is a luminal amoebicide. Okay, and the trophozoite in the gut lumen which form cyst are killed by diloxanide furoate. It is not effective against tissue trophozoites. You should remember it. It is not effective against tissue trophozoites. Okay. After oral administration of diloxanide furoate, it split into diloxanide and furoic acid in the gut. Okay. The diloxanide moiety is partly absorbed and the unabsorbed portion in the gut will produce anti-amoebic activity. Okay. After oral administration, it will split into two parts in the gut, diloxanide and furoic acid. Diloxanide, it is partly absorbed and unabsorbed portion in the gut will produce anti-amoebic activity. Okay. This diloxanide furoate, it is a drug of choice for asymptomatic amoebic carriers. Okay. It rarely causes side effects such as flatulence, nausea and skin rashes. Okay. So this is the treatment for acute amoebic dysentery. Tablet metronidazole 400 milligram 3 times daily for 7 days. Tablet diloxanide furoate 500 milligram 3 times a day for 7 days and follow up after 7 days. Right? Then helminthiasis or worm infestation. Okay. Worm infestation or helminthiasis is one of the major global public health problem in tropical countries. Okay. This worm infestation, it is occurred due to adequate sanitary facilities, lack of pure water supply, poverty and illiteracy. Okay. The commonest parasites observed are roundworm, hookworms, threadworms, tapeworms and filarial worms. Okay. So roundworm infestation, hookworm infestation and threadworm infestation. These are commonly found in tropical countries. Okay. And worm often live in gastrointestinal tract of their host and feed on the host blood and tissue fluid. Okay. Then symptoms associated with worm infestation. Worm infestation produce various gastrointestinal and general symptoms. Okay. The symptoms may be manifested as vague abdominal pain, diarrhea and pruritus. Okay. And some worm can cause blood loss, nutritional deficiency, urticaria and intestinal obstruction. Okay. Then diagnosis of worm infestation. The specific helminths can be identified through microscopic examination of their ova or egg, which is found in fecal samples. Okay, so it is diagnosed by microscopic examination of their ova, which is found in fecal samples. Here we can see the prescription for roundworm infestation. Okay, roundworm is a common name of Ascaris lumbricoides. Okay, for the roundworm infestation, albendazole and mebendazole are the drug of choice. Okay, here we will prefer albendazole. Okay, both albendazole and mebendazole are benzimidazole derivative. They have broad spectrum and helminthic actions. Okay, they are highly effective against roundworm, hookworm and pinworm infestation. Here we will prefer albendazole for the treatment of roundworm infestation. Tablet albendazole 400 milligram single dose for an adult patient. Okay, and for children between 1 to 2 years of age, we will give 200 milligram single dose of albendazole orally. Okay. We can also give mebendazole. Mebendazole, it is an alternative drug to treat roundworm infestation. Okay. There are two major advantages of albendazole over mebendazole. The first advantage is albendazole is administered in a single dose, whereas mebendazole is administered twice daily for 3 days. And second advantage is albendazole is rapidly absorbed and has better viability than mebendazole. So these are the two major advantages of albendazole over mebendazole. That's why we will prefer albendazole because it is given in a single dose. Okay. Then after oral administration of albendazole, it undergoes first pass metabolism in the liver and form its active metabolite albendazole sulfoxide. Okay. Albendazole undergo first pass metabolism and form its active metabolite albendazole sulfoxide. Then it is well distributed in tissue, bile, CSF and it has plasma half-life 8 to 12 hours. It has larvicidal action in ascariasis. Okay. Then adverse effect with albendazole. It can produce mild gastrointestinal disturbances and on long-term therapy, it may causes alopecia, liver damage and bone marrow depression. Okay. Then contraindication. It is contraindicated during pregnancy because of teratogenic effect. Okay, so this is the prescription for roundworm infestation. Tablet albendazole 400 milligram single dose, and mebendazole we can give mebendazole in treatment of roundworm infestation. It is an alternative drug. Now the treatment for hookworm infestation with anemia. Okay, hookworm infestation, it is also called as ancylostomiosis. Okay, it causes iron deficiency anemia due to intestinal blood loss. Okay, this hookworm infestation often exists along with roundworm infestation. Okay, this hookworm infestation often exists along with roundworm infestation. In that situation, first you have to treat roundworm infestation, because whenever you will give drug for hookworm infestation, this drug may irritate the roundworm, which causing their migration or their aggregation into ball-like masses. Okay, and then this roundworm, first they may lead to invasion of the bile duct and the liver, and after that they may causes intestinal obstruction. That's why those drugs are effective against both roundworm and hookworm, are to be preferred in the treatment for hookworm infestation. Okay. Here mebendazole and albendazole are the drug of choice for treatment of hookworm infestation. Here we give tablet mebendazole 100 milligram twice daily for 3 days, along with tablet ferrous sulfate 200 milligram, one tablet 3 times daily for 3 months. Okay. Ferrous sulfate, it is an adjuvant drug which will prevent the anemia and maintain hemoglobin level near to 12 gram. Okay. And mebendazole, it is a benzimidazole derivative. It has broad spectrum anti-helminthic activity. Okay. Then how does it produce their anti-helminthic activity? Okay. We know that mebendazole bind to beta tubulin and inhibit microtubule polymerization. It also blocks glucose transport in the parasite. As a result, there is intestinal parasites are immobilized or die slowly. Okay. So this is the mechanism of action of mebendazole. Mebendazole is administered by oral route. It is poorly absorbed from the GI tract and it is highly effective against roundworm, hookworm, whipworm, pinworm and mixed worm infestation. Okay. It is given 100 milligram orally twice daily for 3 days. Both albendazole and mebendazole have similar mechanism of action. Okay. Mebendazole can causes anorexia, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea and abdominal discomfort. Okay. So mebendazole can produce gastrointestinal side effect. It should not be given during pregnancy. It is contraindicated during pregnancy because it can produce teratogenic effect. Right? Then one thing you should remember, that same drug or other alternative drug should be repeated after an appropriate interval, because no single drug is able to eradicate all hookworms in 100% cases. Okay. So that if you will give mebendazole or albendazole, it should be repeated after an appropriate interval, because single drug is unable to eradicate all hookworms in 100% cases. That's why drug or other alternative drug should be repeated after appropriate interval. So this is the prescription for hookworm infestation with anemia. Tablet mebendazole 100 milligram twice daily for 3 days. Tablet ferrous sulfate 200 milligram, one tablet 3 times daily for 3 months. Now the treatment for mixed worm infection with roundworm and hookworm. Okay. Here we give mebendazole 100 milligram twice daily for 3 days. Mebendazole, it is a drug of choice for treatment of mixed infection with roundworm and hookworm. Okay, so for mixed worm infection, we will prefer tablet mebendazole 100 milligram twice daily for 3 days. Thank you.